Well, joining me now to discuss this further, or rather, meanwhile, condolence messages have continued to pour in from prominent Nigerians as the former president, Olusegun Obasanjo, has condoled with the Ogun State Governor, Dapo Abiodun, on the death of Senator Buruji Kashamu. His message says that no legal, political, cultural, social, or even medical maneuver could stop the cold hands of death when the creator of all of us decides the time is up. Well, let's quickly run now to live discussions we have with Reuben Abati. He joins me now to discuss more on this latest development. Good to have you on the news at this time, sir. So, indeed, how would you describe the late senator, and what will he be remembered for as his legacies?
Well, this is a very difficult moment for me. Senator Buruji Kashamu was my benefactor. He was my mentor. He was, in Nigerian parlance, my political godfather. He was the man who brought me into partisan politics. So I'm completely heartbroken, devastated, because in my conversations with him, we had plans about 2023. He said he will not run again for any position, but he will assist others like me and many others. And now we have been visited by this tragedy of our benefactor, a man who was benevolent, genial, kind-hearted, large-hearted. Now, many of his opponents, he had many opponents. He had many people who didn't believe in his kind of politics. But in terms of his persona and politics, those who were privileged to know him knew him as a man who was committed to Nigeria, who was committed to the development of society, and who was very committed to not just Ijebu, his hometown, but also to Ogun State and also Nigeria.
Indeed, quite a painful loss. Apologies for interrupting you there. Yes, quite a painful loss, right, for the people of Ogun State and Nigerians at this time. But, the country, that's Nigeria, has lost some of its top public officials to the deadly virus in recent times because they've had underlying health conditions. But what are your thoughts on this development where we've been losing some of our top officials, and how the country, how would you assess the way the country has been handling this pandemic?
Well, in terms of handling the pandemic, nobody has any extraordinary ideas about how the pandemic can be handled. And I think, in my view, the Nigerian government has tried so far in terms of handling the pandemic. Even better developed countries are grappling with it. They are trying to solve issues. But I think what this tells us, the example of Senator Buruji Kashamu's death, the example of Senator Abakari's death. Look, COVID-19 is not a respecter of persons. It is a disease that is egalitarian, mercurial, very wicked, and very capricious. And ordinary Nigerians should not say this is a big man's disease. This shows the fact that, look, the non-pharmaceutical interventions that have been put by the Presidential Task Force and other agencies, these are issues that we should take seriously, because COVID-19 is real.
Indeed.
That, for me, is a major part of all of this. Senator Kashamu traveled to Abuja for an issue, for a function, and then he came back, and this happened. His death is a major loss to the people of Ijebu, to the people of Ogun State, to the PDP as a family, and to Nigeria, because he was a very creative, very original person. Those who did not know him personally had other ideas about him, but I was privileged to have known him. And I know that what we have lost is a person who is kind-hearted, who is light-hearted, and who believes in the idea of Nigeria, and who wanted the best for.
All right, a Nigerian journalist and newspaper columnist, Reuben Abati. We appreciate your insights on TVC News at 10.